Hey guys, welcome back to another build. Today we are going to let the roll of a dice and a roulette wheel decide what house we're going to build and what kind of Sims we're going to make. So let's just dive right in. The very first thing we're rolling the dice for is the number of floors. And we ended up with 3. The next thing is the number of bedrooms, and that's 5. Number of bathrooms, 3 again. Number of windows on each floor is 2. And then the number of Sims we're making is 1. If it's an odd number, it's a male. If it's an even number, it's a female. And it's an odd number, so we're going to make 1 male Sim to live in the house. Next, we're going to move over to the roulette wheel. And this is going to decide which world we build in. And we landed on Oasis Springs, so we'll build in Oasis Springs. Then we're going to move over to the other roulette wheel, which is the color schemes. And these colors that we pick are going to be the colors for the house and for our sim that we're going to use. So the first color is green. All right, let's go ahead and spin again. All right, we landed on green again, so we're just going to go ahead and spin again because I don't want just one color. I want 2 different ones. All right, so we're going to do green and blue. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go over and pick the type of sim, if it's going to be one of the occult sims that I have or a normal sim. So let's see what we land on here. And I did 3 normals and then 1 of each of the occults. And so we landed on normal, so it'll just be a normal sim. The next thing we're going to go to is we have a list of all of the sim aspiration options. So we're going to see what their aspiration is. And we landed on potions. The next thing we're going to decide are the 3 traits, and I have another wheel with all of the traits listed out. So the first trait is going to be kleptomaniac. Okay. The second trait will be, let's see here, active. Okay. And let's see what the last trait is going to be. Looks like it's going to be self-assured. So kleptomaniac, active, self-assured, normal sim with potions aspiration, main color scheme to be green and blue. So let's go ahead and go into Oasis Springs, and I picked this corner back in the back. It just seemed kind of away from everything. I really didn't think too much about the size of each floor. I just knew I wanted them to be varying like distances. I wanted to be able to have patios basically on each floor. And then I just did the layout based on what size I had. Before I got too far into the build, I wanted to make sure I went ahead and put supports because I knew that'd probably be something that I would forget later on, and I would just leave half a house hanging off the edge there without anything holding it up. I mean, of course, in the Sims world you can do that, but I wanted it to have that more realistic vibe. So the next thing I did is I was experimenting with the exterior color, and I looked through so many options to try and find a green or blue one that looked decent. The layout of this house does end up being a nice layout. It's just the colors are hideous. So I end up staying with this like green teal color. And then the next thing was to find a door that not only matched the exterior color, but also that was the right green-blue color. And I wanted to make sure to go ahead and get the balconies, because again, I knew that was something I was going to end up forget if I didn't do it right at the beginning. Now the balconies are blue and they have white accents, and I felt like that still justified having white on it is still okay. There weren't many green or blue floor options. There weren't even many to start with, and then there were even less that matched. And I think the only one that kind of matched was the one I ended up going with for the exterior there. The next thing I did is I played with some windows. I wanted bigger windows since I only got 2 windows per floor. And usually I like having several windows, but this was definitely a challenge trying to find the right size. But I ended up going with these down here and using more of a lighter green. And I position all of them on the front because I just think curb appeal and visual aesthetic, like you look at the house, that's what you see. And so I wanted all the windows to be on that side. The next thing I did is I added some overhead lights. I made sure they were blue, not like you would actually see them looking up, but that's what I did. And then after I put some lights in just as placeholder lights, I worked on the stairs starting at the bottom. And then I tried to get the second level stairs to be next to the first level stairs. And I tried this several different ways, and I just didn't like any of the ways it turned out. And you'll see I just tried a whole bunch of different ways, and just when I went up to the top, I was like, I really don't like where those stairs are. So I felt like the best option was to just move it over to the far side, and I do that here in just a second. And that just gave it the most open space on each floor. So the first actual room that I work on is going to be the downstairs. I'm going to do the walls, and then I'll start working on the kitchen. I wanted each floor to have a different wall color, but I wanted all the walls on that floor to be the same. And this gave it some nice texture. And so I gave each wall a different wallpaper color and texture, just to give it that little something extra. There were actually several blue and green cabinets, but not a ton that really matched. I think this color that I went with was really the only one. I wanted a nice large kitchen, since the bottom was just going to be kitchen, living and dining, I guess. And so there's plenty of space for a kitchen and a divided kitchen dining room area, and even a space for a little bit of a bar. There weren't hardly any appliance options. There was a couple of blue and a couple of green. Luckily, I found matching green stove and refrigerator. There wasn't a matching blue or green trash can, so I just went with green. Again, that had the same issue with the sinks, but I found one that matched the stove and the refrigerator as well. Realizing now I did not put a microwave. I don't think they have a green microwave. I could be completely wrong, but I forgot to put one in there. Tables. A lot of the tables were natural and neutral colors, so luckily they had some that had tablecloths. I tried these green chairs, but I didn't like them, so I ended up taking those out and putting completely different chairs in there that just brightened the room up a little bit and felt a little more natural with the light countertops, light chairs. I go in and add a few plants and make sure the planters themselves are green, even though the plants are green. It's just another little thing. The next thing I go to work on is the living room. And again, really ugly green couch, and I found some green chairs that matched. And I wanted it to be in that corner, kind of like pushed away on its own. I really didn't find much on TV stands. There were two options in the first TV I picked. I didn't realize it was a wall mount TV, so I was trying to figure it out, and then I realized that it wasn't going to go on the stand, so I got a different TV stand, got rid of that TV, and picked one that would actually go on that stand, and I actually liked the one I ended up with better. Then I wanted a rug to kind of give the green a little bit of a break and add in a little bit of blue, so I found this blue and white rug, and I think it's probably the best thing that could match. I found a green bookshelf, which was nice. I put it over by the front door because I wanted a desk over by the back door. And again, I was lucky to find a green desk, and they had plenty of chair options. They didn't have any other color other than black, white, and gray in the computer, so I just went ahead and picked one. I didn't think it was a huge deal to have a computer that was black. Floors, you guys, let me tell you, finding the right floors for this first level was difficult. I went through so many different floors trying to find the right one, and it was tough because there was not a whole lot that I could pick, and it was tough. It was tough finding something that looked halfway okay. So now I go up to the second floor. I know I need to put bedrooms here, and I have a whole nother floor, so I decided I was going to split this floor basically in half and put 3 bedrooms on this floor and 2 bedrooms on the other floor. I also knew I needed to fit a bathroom in here, so I ended up putting a bathroom in here as well. And a nice little sitting lounge area for whoever might be on this floor, even though only one sim is going to live in this house. I guess it could be like a bed and breakfast or something like that if we wanted to pretend that's what it's going to be. So this room that I'm adding here, this is going to be the bathroom. As you can see, there's a hallway that leads up to the 3rd floor, and then there's that large open area by the 1st floor stairs. So I went ahead and went in and did all the wallpaper, this lighter blue color. I thought it would just be easier to do it that way. I did do carpet on the bedrooms and the open area, and I did blue tile in the bathroom. This floor, if you can't tell, its main color is going to be blue. Just like on the 1st floor, the main color was that green, and then on the top floor, the main color is going to be more of a darker blue. And I was able to find a door that was that blue color as well, so that was helpful. There weren't very many blue or green tub options, not a surprise. I started off with that shower and that blue toilet, and I get a blue countertop, which I matched the ones that are downstairs, and put a blue sink in there. I felt like the bathroom was a little bit big, so I looked back through the showers and I found this one, which looked better, I felt like, than the other one, and I put it catty cornered, again, just to give it a more full look. And I put a nice long mirror in there and just, like I said, kept it fairly simple. And then I ended up moving the door to that other side so I could use that wall, because I wouldn't have been able to use the wall in the hallway anyway. So putting the door over there just made sense, so I could put a desk area right up along that wall. I found a blue-green bookshelf, and I ended up putting it up over there where it is now. And then I end up adding an art easel. Luckily they had blue and green, which was nice. And I'm looking for different activity things, and I'm just trying to play around with what we have. But then I end up going with putting a half wall by the stairs and using that as a sitting area. And I use a different couch. And I don't remember if I used different chairs or not, but I'll come back to that here in a little bit. I wanted each of the rooms to have a different feel to them, different pieces of furniture. So this first room, I did a lighter blue with a very bright blue. It almost reminds me of like the 60s, 70s style dresser. Gave it a nightstand. And I wanted a few just filler things like the blue dinosaur. And I just looked through different accents to try and find something to add in there. I imagine that maybe a kid came home from school and they laid their backpack up on the desk. They had a teddy bear and whatnot. I did want each of the rooms to have its own, almost like a lounge chair, just a place for them to sit and relax and just have space to themselves. I hate that these rooms don't have any windows, but I got what I got and I had to deal with it. That second chair I put in the first bedroom is going to go in the second bedroom. I just wanted to get the second bedroom laid out. As you can see, I picked a completely different bed. It's a different color blue. I did a different color scheme on the nightstand, but it's still the same nightstand. Again, the dresser is this one that looks like stairs. So just working on the layout in here, I did decide to give each of the rooms their own tablet. And this room has a bunny rabbit. I felt like this would be a room for younger children. I tried putting a violin in here and rearranging the room some, but I'm pretty sure I get rid of the violin eventually. Maybe not. Maybe I do keep it. I don't remember at this point. Oh, I moved the violin to the first room, and then I have the art table in the second room. I went ahead and gave them the same nightlight. It's not a nightlight, but you get what I'm saying. I gave them the same one just because there weren't very many options. And then I picked a bright color blue for the third bedroom. Again, different bed, different color scheme, different dresser. Luckily, I was able to find a light blue one, so it fit right in. Put a few plant accents in there. The middle bedroom doesn't have any plants. I feel like that would be for like the youngest kid, I guess. Again, there's only one person living in this house. I put the science table in the third bedroom, and they also have a backpack as well. I feel like each one of the rooms are unique in their own way, even though there's basically just the color blue and a few green accents. I went out to the patio and just put 4 chairs out there just to relax, hang out in. And this is where I look for blue couch. So I used the same sitting chairs. I just picked the blue instead of the green. I tried to put a carpet in there, but I realized that just wouldn't look right. Arranging this last floor took a little bit of imagination and figuring out how I was going to actually split the rooms. And I needed to put 2 bathrooms on this floor because there was only one on the second floor and there weren't any on the bottom floor. So I thought each room on this floor could have their own bathroom. And each of these rooms could mirror themselves, just like the second floor bedrooms each had they mirrored each other, but they each had their own thing going on. And I put 2 doors leading out to the back patio, one in each bedroom. And I accidentally had put somehow a door on the front end of the house. I don't remember doing that, but I guess I did. So I go in and take that out here in a minute. This is where I start thinking about bathroom. I originally was going to put the bathroom in that corner, but I realized if I put them up by the doors, that would give a nice entryway and then living area and then balcony. It kind of reminds me of a hotel room layout, if I'm being completely honest. And finally, I found bathroom doors that would match. and just filled in all of the dark blue wallpaper. I also realized on this floor that my windows have disappeared, so I do go back in and add those in later. I gave them the same tub. I had to check and see what toilet I used down on the second floor because there weren't, like I said, there weren't hardly any options, so I wanted to make sure I used the same thing for consistency throughout the whole house. I gave each of these bathrooms dark blue countertops. On the second floor, it's light blue. I end up finding a white sink with blue handles, and I used those on this floor. And then I give each of these bathrooms a lighter blue mirror just to kind of bring in some lighter colors and not have it be quite so dark. I wanted each of the bathroom floors on this floor to have their own tile design. So I played around with them and I end up finding a lighter colored one for one and a darker colored one for the other. And then I go with blue wood in the rest of the floor space on this floor. I wanted these rooms to both have a double bed, and I ended up moving the doors to the middle. That way the far wall on each side would have room for bed and nightstands, and there would be plenty of walking room. So in the first room I go with it has an artwork blanket on there, a little bit lighter color cabinet dressers. On the other one, the dressers look the same, they're just rounded instead of flat. And then I put these night lights that, they actually go to the floor, but I just had them kind of jut into the wall there to make them look like they come out of the dressers. And I used the same dresser in each of these rooms. Added a few plants, added a few things on the tops of them, just to kind of tie it all together and make it feel more homey and more of a living space. I feel like the room that has the art blanket is more of like a guy masculine room, and then the other one with the one that's on our left at this moment is more of a feminine, has more of a feminine feel to it, although really they're both pretty neutral. I wanted another desk on this floor. I thought having one desk on each floor would be appropriate, and having all of the desks be in more like a common area. I tried putting a bookshelf on the wall with the doors. I do end up going and changing that. I just didn't like how that sat there. I started off by putting an art easel outside and a guitar. And I laid out 4 chairs, and I end up going back and rearranging all of this, and it looks completely different. I didn't like having the art easel in the corner, and I just moved the guitar into a bedroom. And then, since this back patio is full sun, I put little umbrella tables on each side. That way if you're laying out there, you can have a drink and whatnot. So now I'm working on the roof. What an interesting thing. I actually found like a blue tinted glass, and I thought, you know what? There's not a whole lot of windows in this house, so we're just going to do a glass roof and call it good. It took me a few minutes to find the actual brick that matched the walls, but once I find it, it all ties together and it looks right. Here you can see I found the wrong one, but I eventually find the correct one. So that's the basic layout. Now I'm working on the outside and just getting it all put together. I also had to fix those poles. I guess the top got moved a little bit at some point. It got pushed back a little bit, so those poles need to be pushed back as well. I tried finding different pathway options that were blue. I did this one. These have blue, like almost blue tones in it, but it was too dark. and it really didn't fit, so I tried to do a bright blue concrete. I didn't like it. Tried to do a green concrete, didn't like it. Tried another blue concrete, didn't like it. I found a darker stone, but I do go back and change it to this lighter one like I did in the back. And it has the blue tones in it as well, so it works for the blue and the green. Luckily there was a blue grill. I threw a blue grill in this back covered patio area. I put green planters, so if someone wanted to learn how to plant, there's planters back there. I also put a blue wash picnic table. You can sit out back, and then I did another sitting area, and I did blue. Since the grill and the table are blue, I feel like the back patio should have that blue theme reoccurring. And then I end up putting a blue rug down on the floor just to kind of break everything up and kind of give it its own section. I put a couple of plants out here, again, just to give it a little something extra. And I was looking for more plant options, and I found these wall hanging plants. I thought these would look perfect around the front of the house. And the second floor, I didn't feel like it would be necessary to have them, so I put 2 on the top floor, 3 on the bottom floor. Again, just to give it that aesthetic appeal. Then I started looking for a fence, and I wanted the fence to match the fencing up at the top. So I found the same fence and I wrapped it around. I accidentally made the fence too short, but then I fixed it. Then I had to go back in, fix the grass. I tried the flower one, didn't like how it looked. I just went with the plain grass, and I had to redo the covered rock patio. Then I wanted a large pool in the back. Now the pool is already blue, but I wanted to go with a green theme. So I started off with blue, and then I know on the floor I put carpet. I just wanted to give it that green look, green walls. It just gives it more of an earthy tone, I guess. I tried putting that turtle down there, but you really couldn't see it, so I didn't even bother. I was going to put 1 ladder in the middle, but it's such a big pool that I decided to do 1 on each end. And then I do 3 green floaties. We'll do 1 blue, 1 green, and then 1 blue and 2 green. Goodness, words. And then I do more outdoor lounge chairs, and I end up moving those as well to make room for some beach towels. That way you could lay by the pool and just relax. I tried to find just a regular small table to go in between them that were blue or green, but there weren't any, and I didn't want a covered one. Next, I start working on play equipment. I did the blue rocket ship, blue swings, and I ended up doing blue monkey bars as well. And then that's a whole kids corner. They're all tucked away in one spot. And then I add 4 beach towels. Again, you can lay out by the pool and just relax. I tried putting these smaller trees in, but then I wanted something a little more, and I ended up going with palm trees on each side of the front, but then I wanted the back to match, so I ended up taking those small trees out and putting a palm tree just in each corner. And I knew that far side needed something, but I also knew I wanted a liquor cabinet, and luckily there was a green one. It matched the green. I found a light blue hot tub to put on that other side, and so that way the whole yard just has this balanced feel and everything is all balanced. So we're gonna do kind of a tour now that it's all done. So you come in, and to the left you have your dining area, and then on from that is your kitchen. Then back closer to the other area you have your living and a little desk space. You come up to the second floor, you have another sitting area, computer, bookshelf. First room with a single bed, second room with a single bed, third room with a single bed, each of them having their own themes going on, and then the bathroom on the second floor. Then going around the hallway and up the stairs, we're on the third floor, and I had a little bit of hard time moving my camera, so I do apologize for this section. In the hallway we have the bookshelf and the desk. Then we have one bedroom and bath, second bedroom and bath. I had the walls all the way up, so it's kind of hard to see. And then we have two separate lounge areas with a paint area, and then we have the back patio, hot tub, kids play area, and then we go back to the large pool. And then we just have an overview of the entire house. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to jump into working on our Sims. So this was the guy that popped up immediately. I wanted his last name to be Green, and I wanted his first name to represent blue, but it took me a little while to think of a good name. So we go ahead and fill in his aspirations, which his aspiration is potions. It took me a second to figure out where exactly it was because I forgot. Once I do that, I start going in and giving him his 3 traits, which the first one is kleptomaniac, and I knew it was on, I thought it was at the end one, but I realized it was back one. And then active and self-assured are back on the first section. So then it was time to start working on some of his features and his details. I thought about changing his skin color to either blue or green, but I just didn't like it. And I thought like a gray, but again, he just didn't look right, so I played with his skin tones there a little bit and tried to find one that was somewhat natural. Then I worked on his eyes. I really wanted us to be able to see his eyes, so I've tried to find just big wide eyes just so we can actually see his bright green eyes. His eyebrow shape I liked. I just wanted to change his hair. I tried a dark blue and I didn't like it, so I went with green. I felt green hair, green eyes. His last name's Green. It was appropriate. I then went in and I gave him just a few freckles. Again, just to give him that little bit of an accent. I go through and I get rid of all the accents, and I go through each of his outfits and make sure all of his accents on his face are either they didn't have any or they're gone, because I wanted more of a blank slate on that end. Then I start working on his outfit. I pick an outfit for him first. Actually, no, I go in and do his tattoos first, which luckily I was able to find a green tattoo for each of the lower arm and hand area. I felt like it was appropriate for the theme and it fit him. And each of them pretty well matched each other. Alright, so now for his outfit, I started by looking at the full body outfits, and there were some suits from the Vampire Pack that I liked on him, and I ended up picking one, but I ended up moving that to his formal wear. I tried that one on him, and I just felt like that was a bit too much. So I go with this other one. It looks a little more classy. Get rid of flip-flops and give him some dress shoes that are blue that match. The first ones were not quite the right color, but the second ones I felt tied in nicely with his vest. And just with his hair being green and that outfit being blue, it just really went nicely together. And this is when I decided to make that be his formal wear outfit and then go back and change his everyday to something different. And the shoes that they had on him already I liked better than the shoes I had put on him, so I just left those shoes. I started off by trying to put a t-shirt on him just to play around with different things. I didn't like this shirt, but again, I wanted to just try different things. I tried a few different pairs of blue jeans on him as well, and I eventually find the ones that I like. Again, finding ones that fit the theme and kind of his persona that I envisioned. Took a few tries, but these just normal looking jeans that are light colored, I felt like they were the best option. I don't want him to be in a jacket. I looked through the t-shirts and there's this one that's blue and green, and I was like, yes, it has both colors on the same shirt. Then I hop over to his athletic wear. I changed his shorts to blue workout pants, and then his shirt I change from the gray to the blue. It's still the same shirt. Moving over to his sleepwear, I give him that dark green tank top, and then I just change his shorts to it, or a light green tank top, dark green shorts, take off the socks, and then change the house shoes to a green. Luckily they had green. Then we go on to his party wear, which he had some accent. He had a ring on and he took it off, and I liked his party wear. It was blue, it matched. Swimwear green, felt appropriate. Go on to his hot weather wear, and I did not like it. I played around with overalls for a second. I wish they had guy overalls, but they only have girl and kid overalls. And then that just looked really funny on him. So I go back and I'm looking through the shirts, and I find this floral patterned one that is the green. And then I just go in and work on getting him some shorts. I did those ripped shorts at first, and I thought, you know what? Those are good enough. On his cold weather wear, he has a green jacket on, and I felt like, you know what he had on was perfectly fine. So this is his everyday outfit, and I really liked it, and I decided to name him Teal. Teal Green is his name. But anyways, that's been this Roll the Dice build, you guys. I've really enjoyed it. I'll let this video end here. I love you guys. I'll see you next time.